This is the first anyone will read of Jesus anywhere. Now, mythicists claim that Paul never ever situates Jesus on this earth in everything he wrote in these 7 letters. This is shocking to hear, I know. However, all Paul's references to Jesus were either vague, generic, and does not help actually identify him as a person on earth and in time. Take some time to let that sink in. Paul is writing to his churches and preaching, and he never once uses a quote from Jesus whilst on earth, a parable, an example from his life, or point to anything about him on earth as a person in history. This is unusually bizarre. On the contrary, Paul only mentions Jesus as interacting with him via revelation, as a spiritual being. For instance, passages like Galatians 4:4, Jesus was born of a woman. Is this literal or allegorical? Where, when, what woman? However, in Galatians 4:14, Paul goes on to call Jesus an angel of God. Some Bible translations show Paul refers to Jesus as a descendant of David. The actual original Greek translates as manufactured of the sperm of David. According to Dr. Richard Carrier, this is the same term the Greek would use to indicate something crafted. Again, this is vague and does not give anything concrete to make him historical. He says Jesus is a Jew, but of course, if Jesus is a Jewish deity and manufactured of the sperm of David, then he is a Jew. But then again, this does not place him in time and on earth. 1 Corinthians 15:3-8 is pivotal. Paul says he received a message or tradition, not specifying where from. Christ died for our sins, was buried, and rose again. Again, we don't have any identifying details to place this in history and on earth. This is just a string of words. Even more interesting, the later verses say Christ appeared to the apostles and several others. This is the first time we see Christ having contact with other humans, but it was after he had died. He was appearing as a non-human. There is nothing in Paul to situate him on earth or having contact with people before he died, and we don't know anything about his death. Remember, the Gospels don't exist as yet, so clear your mind of all you already know. Imagine you are reading Paul with no knowledge of Jesus whatsoever.